We have checked it for a number of the most energy-consuming countries, like European countries, the EU, and countries like Denmark and the UK. We have shown for each country how you can actually go to 100% renewable energy in 20 or 30 years from now.
And we're talking about what forms of renewable energy?
Well, it depends on the country. In Denmark, wind power is very strong. Also in the UK, wind power is very strong. We had tried to make a scenario for Belarus where actually biomass was the most important. So it depends a little on where you are.
I mean, technologically, are we able to use those forms of renewable energy, wind, solar, or the rest of it, to meet our current energy needs? Plenty have said, yes, it's a great idea sometime in the long-term future, but not yet, we're not ready yet. Is that your view?
We cannot do it from one year to the next, but we can do it from one decade to the next. So 20 years from now, it would be feasible, it would even be a good economy to change the economy to depend on renewable energy. We've also been addressing the issue of the variations, like wind and solar are variating. So we need to have a combination of some storage and some biomass to fill in the gaps when the wind is not blowing.
I mean, you say that it makes economic sense to go towards renewable energy.
Yeah.
Is the business community, those who make those economic decisions, are those convinced of that, or do they need more convincing? And if so, how do you do that?
I mean, many people are convinced, but there are also, unfortunately, quite a big group who are not convinced. Of course, there's those who are living from selling the bad technologies or selling old technologies which is not really efficient, and they will be against. But there's also a lot of people who simply haven't really grasped the idea, so there's a lot of information work to do.
Right. So I mean, is that the biggest first job that has to be done, is convincing enough people, the people on the ground, the people investing, that it is feasible, it can be done, and obviously it should be done?
Yes, that's a very important part, but you also have to take the first steps. First, to decide upon politically that you want to go for, say, more renewable energy, that you want to go for a sustainable transport system, that you want to go for some of the other things, efficiency, that need to be done. For instance, coming to transport, lots of people are wasting lots of time sitting in queues in cars and spending a lot of petrol on that. If you would have a more sustainable system where more people would go on public transport using more electricity, both electric cars and electric public transport, you could have a lot of more happy people. But people, it doesn't really trigger through, and that's a lot because of vested interest in the car industry and also old habits of those who are financing the transport infrastructure, more financing roads than rails, for instance. So there's a lot of blockages there.
I suspect you find plenty of people who agree with your point of view here among the NGOs, but trying to convince the politicians over the other side there, making the decisions. I mean, how far are we away from convincing them that we are 100% sustainable energy is achievable?
Depends very much on the country. These debates are running enormously country by country. In a country like Denmark, for instance, the politicians, the large majority, like 90% of the parliamentarians, agreed that we want to go for 100% renewable energy. Now we are only discussing time frame. Do we need 20, 30 or 40 years? That's what's left. In another country like Poland, it's a small fraction of the parliamentarians who are ready to go to 100% renewable energy. So we have to take these debates down to the countries, and we have to take them country by country.
I mean, given though that kind of diverse range of opinions, I mean, what chances are there of any kind of meaningful agreement here in Doha, next year in Poland? Poland of all places, having just mentioned that.
Yeah, I mean, we definitely have to work both inside these negotiations and also beyond, because we have to go to the national level and we have to work on national agendas and see how it would benefit not only the Danish, but also the Poles in this case, and developing countries like China, which is the fastest growing emissions.